soundtrack to the novel. Table of contents. Willow's love. Wake up, kiss. The brother, Ace. The lady, Mika. Man and machine. Ace and Mika. On the home front.
Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with Real People, a candid conversation with Karoline Bethea-Jones. This is our segment, Authors Speaking. I'm here tonight with my co-host, Miss Renee Marshall McKinley.
Hello.
How are you, Renee? How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I can't believe it's been a whole year.
It's been a whole year, Renee. It's been a whole year.
It is 2025, y'all.
I know. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, so we are here today. We are here, Renee. We are here today with our first interview of the year.
Woohoo!
And we are going to be talking to a brand new author.
Let's clap that up.
Let's clap it up.
Woo! Somebody we know.
Clap it up.
Love, y'all.
Brand new author.
Woo-hoo!
Brand new author. We love brand new authors. At least I love brand new authors.
Off the press.
Renee, a whole year ago, you were a brand new author.
See, oh my God, a whole
See?
year.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow, and now we have a brand new author.
Now we have a brand new
We
author.
love that.
We
We're
love
creating
it.
authors, y'all.
Creating authors. So
Yes.
we are creating authors,
Yes,
y'all. Okay.
yes.
So listen, we're not gonna make them wait too much longer.
Okay.
Okay, we're not.
Let's talk about it.
Okay,
while
we're gonna
here
talk
today.
about it. We're gonna
Yes.
talk about it. Okay, so I'm gonna read the bio
Oh, please do.
from the back of the book because he didn't send us one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alban Lewis Jones Sr. is a retired utility worker who dabbles in all things creative.
No lies.
His first love is music, with reading, writing, photography, videography, people watching. He loves to do that. Technology and traveling not too far behind. He is married to me with 2 adult children and 2 grandchildren.
Yes.
Ace and Mika is his debut novel.
Wow.
Stay tuned for more adventures to come, but we ain't going to talk about those more adventures to come right now. We're going to talk about right now this book, Ace and Mika. Please help us welcome our first author of the year 2025, Mr. Alban Jones Sr.
Show you right. Thank you.
Wow.
What's up?
Can we do that whole intro again? That
Nope.
sounded good.
I know, right?
I'm smelling
That was
myself right
power.
now.
We don't want you to do that.
No, it's too much on here. It's like a lot of things.
I know, but you know what?
Wow.
I, for one, I'm very proud, very
Yes.
proud to have this author here today
Yes.
because, he's been writing this book for a minute. He's been writing it for a minute.
Okay.
And I was so glad when he finished it. But we gonna hear from him.
Yes, because I need to know all the
Yeah,
details.
we gonna-
all the deets.
I don't even know where to start. Why don't we start with you, AJ?
All right.
Tell us
Yeah.
why you wrote this book.
Why? Who's Ace and Mika? Like,
Well,
how did you?
Before we get to who's Ace and Mika, let's talk about what inspired
Yes,
you
yes.
to write a book.
Right.
Well, it's super simple to me. If you look at the 4 pages before you get into the book, the foreword and all of that, I tell you exactly why. And the reason is super simple. I say that I believe all of us have a great story inside of us.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
We
true.
may not have 50,000 like
Yes.
Stephen King. We may have 10.
Yeah.
We have 20. Some of us only have 1.
Yes.
But the fact that you have that 1,
Yes.
once you feel it and it's in your soul and your spirit, you should spit it out.
Yes.
And that's what this book was for me.
Wow.
It was
Okay.
that catharsis of me.
Yes.
I had been trying to put this thing out for so many years, and I was writing it over and over and over, and it took so long to get it out. But when everything hit and the stars aligned,
Yeah.
I knew the time was right, and that was what made me drop it.
Wow. Because let me tell you, so I've been knowing it's family forever. I never knew that this was in there. Look, when Karoline showed me the book, she goes, look at it. I go, wait, this is a real book. This is
She did say that. She did.
I flipped the pages and said, wait, wait a minute. This is a whole thing. Now, you guys don't know AJ, right? AJ is, Karoline read it. Talented, all the things, music, blah, 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 blah. This is a whole other level. So we have to get into this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to make you laugh, Renee.
Yeah.
So, of course, when you're typing it up and it's in computer form, not in book form, I was probably around 300 pages. And Karoline said, I can't, I got this more. I got it. There's something else I got to say. She said, boy, you got a whole book here. You need to wrap this thing up and make it happen.
Listen, let me just put it to y'all this way, so y'all will definitely understand this. Y'all gonna understand this. Wow. He was writing that book the way he talks and tell a story. Anybody who's ever been in the presence of like Al Jones Sr., he don't. First of all, he don't never stop talking.
Right. It goes on.
It just goes on and on and on. He be talking. He will tell you how many blades of grass is in this patch right here, because he gonna tell you every detail.
He's invested.
So that is, and I said to him, if you don't wrap this book up,
I can believe that, Karoline.
Okay,
I can believe that. But you know what? I'm grateful for that. This is in AJ speak.
Yes, it is.
So you guys will come to know and love AJ once you read this book, what AJ speaks means. Yeah. So I just happened to turn to page 237, and AJ, and one of the words is looked. LQQKED.
Capitalized.
Capitalized. And AJ types that in everything. And that's AJ speak. And I said, I wonder if he typed like that, if he wrote that in the book. Yes, it's here. Yes. So this is authentic, y'all.
Yes.
This is authentic.
I'm gonna honestly tell you that is what I think I loved the most about him. Because even, let me just tell you.
Yes.
I was trying to tell him, I was giving him, the rundown. Because first of all, he asked me, he goes, I'm going to need your assistance. Yep. So I'm trying to give him some assistance.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, you have to format. He goes, I'm not formatting. I'm like, okay. I was like, okay,
you need to have somebody edit it.
You need to have it. Ain't nobody edited it.
Nobody edited my work.
I said, okay, well, then what you need my help for?
That's the AJ. Look, that's the AJ right there.
So I said to her, I need parameters, because you don't know what you don't know.
That's true.
So what I know is, I know the story I'm trying to tell.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
And if I had someone edit it, they would Ginsu all the AJ out of the book.
That is
true.
To
keep the essence of who I am.
That is true.
And I will give you to what you just said.
Yes.
At our 25th wedding anniversary, we were at the Galloping Hill Inn.
Yes.
Everybody all decked out. And one of my coworkers got up, a wonderful white Italian.
Yes.
We call him Little Al because his name is Al. So we had 3 Als at one time.
Oh, Lord.
AJ, we had Big Al and Little Al.
Yes.
And Little Al got up to speak to the crowd, and it was the most colorful speech of the event.
I can imagine.
Little Al said, "Have you ever got an email from AJ?"
See?
He said, "If you get an email from AJ," he said, "you need one of them Johnny Quest super ring decoder."
You gotta decode it, y'all.
He got hieroglyphics, and you can see the pyramids on this thing, and it's in color, and it's bold and italic. He said, I turned around to him. He used to call me Smoke. He's like, "Smoke, what the fuck you trying to say?" So yes, that's all in there.
There is some decoding that needs to happen. You have to know, AJ, to like read it smooth. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, "Wait, let me read that one more time," and then you'll get it. Don't get me wrong, you'll get it.
Once you get in the club, you in the club.
Yeah. I do want to tell you though, and like I told Renee. Renee's in a play. We'll talk about that later because this is her interview. Yeah. But she didn't have time to read the book. But I told her, so she brought the book tonight, and I said to her, "Don't worry, this is a easy read.
Yes.
So I want to tell all my listeners out there and all my camera people, this book, once you start reading it, you will finish it. And it took me like 2 days to finish this book because
you can't put it down.
It's it's a very good story.
Yeah.
And the way he sets it up perfectly.
Wow,
So
nice.
I did tell him that I did read it and I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love the detail because he's a detailed talker.
Yes.
And so he a lot of things he mixed some of the familiar with the
I'm gonna make you learn some things.
with the creative.
Okay,
and
okay.
Make you learn with me.
taught you some things.
Okay.
So let's talk about Ace and Mika now. Now we can talk about Ace and Mika. Let's talk about Ace and Mika.
Yeah. Who are they? Who's
Yeah.
Ace and who's Mika?
Well,
Anybody I know?
it's a classic, gritty
That's
urban love story.
That's the question. Renee.
Okay.
But what I always say also is in those 4 pages before you get to the story, I give you a little disclaimer. And I say, if you in fact think you see a little bit of yourself in these characters,
You probably
the names have been changed to protect the guilty. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay.
And let me be clear. Unless you are a sci-fi writer where you're writing about things that do not exist in the universe
Yeah.
and you're just creating things from nothing, most of us tell stories from things that are familiar to us.
True.
So it's going to be
Yes.
the people you know. It's going to be the places you see.
Yes.
It's going to be the themes that you see in your life.
Yes.
And the beauty is, I tell this simple concept. You go to Fort Lee. And you looking at the George Washington Bridge, and you take your phone out and you take a picture.
Right.
You know how many people have stood at that exact same spot and took that same
And
picture?
it's something different. Yeah.
But it's the way in which you frame it, compose it,
Right.
and take that picture.
Yeah.
That's the way my story is.
Okay. All right.
No, it's a good story.
So
But-
you know
but
I
let's-
gotta
let's
read this
talk-
over the weekend. I gotta catch up because I'm behind.
Yeah.
I'm behind. All right. Let's go.
All right. So, how much of the story do you want to tell us without giving so much away? Because
Right.
listen, I am telling you, I'm an author. Y'all know that. So I'm telling you, this is a good read.
Yes.
Okay. You're not going to be disappointed. And there's a lot of creativity in this book. So I want you to know that. But I don't want him to give away
Yeah.
more of what he needs to give away.
Because I want to feel all the emotions, right?
Right.
You wanna-
I want all of y'all to see. I already read the book, so I don't want to ask questions.
Right,
because
right.
I'm like, oh, I could ask him so many questions about so many things. I have so many questions, but
So let me start one because you
Yes,
read it. Okay.
yes.
So tell us why now. So you said you started it
Yes.
some time ago. So why now? Why 2020? This just came out 2025. So what?
I actually
Yes.
wrote it December. I released it December
December,
20th
yeah.
of 2024.
Okay.
So the backstory is I've probably been writing this book 15, 20 years.
Really?
And one thing that is, because I'm a Sagittarius and I'm a classic procrastinator.
Yes.
And I'm one of them type of people that, I move at my own pace. I like
Okay.
to do things in my own
Yes.
way. And when Karoline dropped her first book, when she wrote Someone to Love,
Which
I
was some time ago, though.
2001.
Yes, 2001. Okay.
Yeah.
I was blown away
Yeah.
because what a line I said to her was, this is a woman that, just like you said, how long you've known her.
Yes,
I've known all
yes,
this time.
yes.
And I know she's writing in all this music and
Yes.
poetry and stuff like that. But when she wrote the book, I didn't really pay mind to it in the sense
Okay.
of her writing it.
Right.
But when I got the book in my hand and I read it, it's just what she said. I read that book in 2 days.
Wow.
And I came back to her and I looked at her and I said, I had no idea
Wow.
that this person
Yeah.
who I see every day,
Yes.
who I know from
Yes.
toe to
Yes.
head,
Yes.
had this inside of
Wow.
you.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so that was my North Star, if you will.
Absolutely.
Because that gave me a blueprint of how to get there.
Absolutely.
But because I'm that procrastinating, wandering type.
Yeah.
So I was writing it, and one of my great friends, and Brother Keith Harvey.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I love this thing about Keith. One thing I love about Keith
PSCG.
is he is he's my Sagittarius brother. I'm the 7th, he's the 11th. We call ourselves 7-11.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes, we do. But I said to him, I said, Keith, I said, I love how focused you are and how you walk through life. I said, what's your secret? What's the thing that makes you move the way you move? And he said, let me do my Keith voice. My brother.
That's it.
He said,
It's very deep.
you got to see the end before you start the beginning.
Wow. Okay.
He said, so everything I do, I already know where I'm trying to go, and I work towards that. And I said, well, that's good for you because it don't work for me.
And you know what?
Wait a minute.
Now, wait a minute. So, unlike most people who come up with the plot, the characters and all that, and they theme it out and they put it together,
Right.
I literally, when you start reading page 1,
Yes.
I started writing page 1,
Yes.
and I literally wrote all the way to the end because I didn't see it.
Wow.
I didn't see it that way.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm so appreciative. My favorite author is Stephen King.
Yeah.
And with the volume and the concepts and the way he does it, he can't write like that. He's got to have these concepts everything put together and then just knock them out like that. So that's what happened to me. That's why it took me so long because I didn't have I didn't like vision board it out and concept it out.
Same.
I literally wrote it from start to finish.
Same, AJ. So, Caroline, we were laughing upstairs. We just did another podcast. And so we were laughing upstairs because Carolina is the creative one in terms of writing, right? And she gave us this challenge. But and the challenge came because I said, I can't write creatively. I have to write what I know. This is what happened. Boom, 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 boom. And there's the end. And you just say the same thing. There's the end. You knew what was happening in the beginning and there's the end. So I don't feel alone in this structure.
Oh, no. There's a lot of us like this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And that's one way to write.
It is. Yes.
But I feel what Brother Keith said because that is exactly how I move in the world.
Yeah.
100%.
I see the end.
Wow.
And because I can visualize, and I tell people all the time, most people see like this,
Yep.
but I see like this.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
See, I'm half of that. I'm like right here.
Yeah.
But
No. So for me,
And I just walk in the door and say, oh, that's what we doing?
yeah, and
I just start.
that's exactly how he moves in the world. That's exactly how, and because listen, Renee, even doing the podcast, I'm upstairs freaking out because it's like you kicked me out of the studio the day of our podcast. It's like you put this thing on the table and you say, I'm like, get out.
So let me tell you why I did that.
If you could have gave that to me yesterday, and I would have been able to get myself together.
See, because I know her.
Exactly.
We worked it out.
And what her problem is in life, I won't say it's not a problem.
It ain't no problem.
Let
That's
me-
right.
Please, let me I want to retract that.
Yes.
Your
Retract
Honor,
that.
strike that from the record.
Yes.
Jurors, y'all
Strike
didn't hear that. What she just said is that's one way to look at things. And that,
Yes.
so that is the way she
way.
moves.
Yes.
That's her mode of operation.
That's how I move.
So one of my gifts in life to her is I disrupt that all the time.
Yes.
So she thought she was going to come in here. She's going
is
to
a
sit down here like
disruptor.
we doing now.
Yes.
And I went upstairs. I put it on the dining room table. She
I'm
came
like,
home.
what is
She's
this?
like, what is this? And I'm like, no, because I wanted y'all to do your podcast upstairs and have a whole flavor. Then I
Yes.
wanted you to come down here to this space because now you're going to change. You're going to have a different flavor. It's going to be a different atmosphere.
Y'all
But I
don't
didn't want
even
to tell
know.
you that.
Y'all
So
don't know
I
what we
didn't
got
tell you
down
that. I
here.
wanted you to.
You should have told me
No.
that.
We
but
got a whole
absolutely not.
setup down here, y'all.
Absolutely not.
Y'all can't see this, but I'm whispering. It's a whole setup down here.
But it's all
Because it'll
good.
change the
It's
energy
all
in the
good
room.
because this is where his creativity
Yes,
begins.
yes.
First of all, so I'm glad that we're here and we're interviewing him in his space
That's
because
right.
this is his whole creative vibe,
Yeah, man.
and this is how his music begins. This is
Yeah.
how the book begins. Al he's always written. He's always been a writer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and I'm
music,
talking
right?
about I'm talking before music.
Oh.
Because when
Short stories,
I'm telling you, before
poetry.
I met Al, when I first met Al,
Right.
people always say, oh, they look at us now and they go, what did y'all have in common? We had a lot in common, okay? A lot.
Yes.
Because I was a writer.
Yes.
I had been writing since I was like 11 years old. And then I meet this man and he was so prolific.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
he had all this great things to say. He
Yeah.
used to write me
Journals.
poetry
I
and
kept
he
journals.
kept
Really?
journals.
I still journal from
It was
time to time.
amazing.
I love that.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes, yes.
So with that, did the journaling help you with writing your book? Like, did you
100%.
write in it? Okay. So were you writing about Ace and Mika in your journal?
No, I was not.
Not at all.
No.
So you just pulled from that.
Yeah, so what journaling for me is, it's the same thing when you watch, like I love watching my granddaughter now.
Yes.
She'll be 4 in March.
Yes.
And I just saw a picture of
Shout
her when
out
she
to
was
Naomi.
2. And from 2 to where she is now,
Yeah.
it's light years.
Yes.
But how is it light years?
Yeah.
because it's the repetition and the way she moves.
Yes.
And that's what journaling is. Journaling, all that is, it's building up your vocabulary, your strength. You're getting to put your words together. You're getting your flow together.
Yes.
I'll go back and read. And the good thing about journaling is for me, the way I write it.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm looking to publish that.
Sure.
It's free-willing for my own creative space, and you could write it anyway. When I was,
Right.
you remember those black and white composition books?
Yes.
So that's what I used to journal in. And I used to do that because you can't tear those pages out.
That's true.
If you tear that page out, then the page on the other side is going to go, and then the whole book starts to fall apart.
Yes.
So when I wrote my very first journal,
Okay.
I went so deep inside myself. I didn't need no therapist. I had a journal.
Yeah.
I was so deep. I took that thing out in the backyard and I burned it.
Ooh.
Because I had thing in there
You
that was
went,
like, woo, there was incrimination
You
in
don't
that
want to know
thing.
about them secrets.
But that's what
Yes.
journals are for.
But
That's true.
Because
That's
I
true.
burned like 3 or 4 of mine
man.
too. Because
Did you?
yes, because
Yes.
you know what, you're pouring
You're pouring-
out.
You
Your
do.
essence, yeah.
You do.
And you
Because
don't want
there's
nobody to read that.
There's
That's right.
no,
That's right.
There's no editor. There's
That's- no.
and
Right.
it's not for public consumption.
Yeah.
You're
True.
doing it for yourself.
That is
Yeah.
true.
So even to this day, I journal now, but I do it sporadically. When I was
Okay.
writing in the composition books, I never went more than a week without putting something down. Sometimes
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
write 5-7 days in a row.
Yeah.
So the way I journal now is I journal when things hit me.
Okay,
But I also
okay.
keep a blog on the side. So when something really hits me, so like this election cycle that just passed, I wrote a wonderful piece about the election cycle. And I just popped that out and I sent it out into the universe because
Yeah.
that's out for public consumption. I want
That's
people to
right.
read
Yeah,
that and
yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
So that's how my journaling helped me
So
work
that
my
was-
way to the book.
So I love that. So part of this
Yeah.
podcast that we have is educational, right?
Yeah.
So we like to always ask our authors, what was their journey to get the story out?
Yeah.
So journaling, that was good. That
Yes.
was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of our authors that we spoke to talked about journaling.
That's right.
I personally believe that is the forerunner.
Yeah.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
Because I was journaling first, then I started writing poetry.
Yeah.
Then I started writing short stories. Then I would, by the time I met him, I was writing songs.
Wow.
And then I wrote plays, and then
Yes.
it just moved on. So I
Wow.
think I think journaling is the launch pad.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, for me, it was just something that was just sitting heavy on your chest. I was like, oh man, I just got to get this story out. So I wasn't a journaler. You take your notes because I'm always a note taker and I
Yeah.
write things down, but
Yeah.
it wasn't true journaling for me. But when I started writing this book, it was just putting thoughts down at that moment. And I just took those thoughts, the exact same thoughts,
And
just
expand
rearranged
on
it and the book was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. See, I love this platform because we can talk about there's different ways to
Yeah.
get to the end goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
One
the thing
size
right there.
does not fit
no,
all.
That's
one
right.
size does not.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really do love what he said, what the both of you said earlier, but he expounded on
Yeah.
it. It's the creativity part of it. When you allow too many people in,
Mm-hmm.
they start ripping away the very essence of who you are.
Yeah.
One of the things that I said even earlier, when I'm talking to individuals, I say I need to get back to me. And what
Yes.
I simply mean is that I become so generic,
Right.
trying to be all things for all
yes.
people that you
not
don't
one
script
size.
away everything that's me.
Right.
Lose
That's
your
true.
essence.
Yeah.
And I want to get back to me, my flaws, everything.
Everything.
100%.
Every single thing that makes me me. And that's what he didn't lose. He didn't lose Al Jones.
Right.
He's gonna be Al Jones from sun up to sundown,
Yeah.
and he ain't gonna allow nobody to script that away
That's
from
true.
him.
That's
and that's
true.
what I love, and that's what you see in this book.
Yes.
This is what you see. You see the essence of who he is,
I'm telling you, I
and
can't
the
wait
way
to
he
read it.
writes. So
I can't wait
love
to
that.
get into
And
that.
if you want to give people a taste of what it is, read the top half of this to the people. If you read that, that'll give you what the synopsis of the book.
Who's reading? You got that?
Darnell Ace Lewis
Yes.
had everything under control as his life was on a serious upward trajectory.
Yes.
Always known for being calm, cool, collective in any situation, a chance encounter with a sensual femme fatale type flipped the script, causing him to drop his guard, jeopardizing everything he held near and dear to self. Will he rise to the top like cream or begin a downward spiral as the cost of his decision is too heavy a price to pay? Get comfortable, as this story will take you on a journey of music, technology, friendship, betrayal, and yes, love.
I can see AJ all over that.
but y'all did see, but my dramatic reading brought that to life, right?
Y'all ain't right.
I can just see him like, this is it right here, right here.
Yeah.
So tell us though, how did you come up with your names, your names? Did you just say, I like these names, or did someone remind you of these people's names, or like, how'd you come up with your main characters?
So that's crazy to me because I was like, the minute I started writing the book, the very first name that popped in my head was Ace. So he was the first character. I didn't have his first name. His real name is Darnell.
Yes.
But Ace came out of thin air.
Okay.
And so I was like, Ace, because Ace, I guess, referenced like AJ Ace made sense, like
That's
a nickname.
what I got when I said Ace. I said, this AJ.
So it made that kind of, because it's simple, catchy, right off the gate. Because your main character, they should have something that grabs you.
Yes.
And I thought that was going to do it.
Okay.
And then when it came to, I was like, okay, well, what's his lady's name? Okay, I'm like, all right. So I had to go through a few names.
Okay.
And then somehow Tamika popped in my head because I love the fact that I didn't have to call her Tamika. I could shorten it up and call her Mika. And those two characters made some. Matter of fact, once I started introducing other characters, I actually had to put a spreadsheet on why we didn't have Excel at that time.
Right.
So I had a little pad on the side, and I was starting to write down these people's names.
Wow.
And what you'll find is I'll go through my Rolodex of people.
Yes.
And not people that are close to me.
Yeah.
But like if I go to a store.
Yeah.
And the guy in the store is Mr. Smith, I will pull that name from out of my Rolodex and use his name as that, because I can also see Mr. Smith. Right. Now I can build the features of that person as I'm writing about him. I can see Mr. Smith for real, and I can write about him. So that's how I came up with those names.
And that's really good. And Renee, I want you to pay close attention to what he's saying, because this is the creativity part that I'm telling you that you need to pull from. When you keep saying, okay,
now let me back up, girl. So when you read my bio, there's one key thing. If you ever want to understand, it's people watching.
People watching.
I was going to get back to this.
I just came back from Baltimore.
Okay.
So I took the train down. Mm-hmm. So I had never been in Baltimore Penn Station.
Okay.
So when you come in, you're just getting in. You're going to get in there. You're going to go to where you're going.
Right.
But when you're coming back home, I like to get there a little bit earlier, because now I sit in the station and I am just observing people. I watch what they dress. I watch how they walk.
Wow.
I see how they move. And if somebody is, I pull up. Now I can pull out my phone.
Yes.
I take a picture on the slide. Click, click. That's my next character ready to go.
So y'all gotta be careful now when you're on the train with AJ, because now he done pulled out his camera.
But you didn't know I'm taking that picture.
Wow. Okay.
But that is what writing.
Off of that.
That's what writing is all about. Yeah. Most of my characters are just that way.
Observation.
Somebody that I observed, somebody who I've seen before. Right. I'll take some of their mannerisms. Yeah. So this is what I want you to pay close attention, because you keep saying, I don't have that creativity. Yes, you do.
But I'm getting it.
Yes.
And I got to get it done by January 31st.
Especially all the people that you cross paths with.
I know, and that's the crazy thing, right?
You see so many people across your day.
That is so insane. And that is so insane. And I guess it's partly because, one, I never had to think of things that way, right? Mm-hmm. Two, I'm like, this is the facts. This is the facts.
Yeah.
This is the facts.
Yeah.
My training. That was my training. This is the facts. Even with your children, what did you do? Tell me the truth. So all that's still ingrained. But now there's a whole other branch that now Karoline is pulling out of me.
Yeah, I have to.
She does, because I'm still over here.
But I would say this to you though.
She's gonna come on the other side.
But the fact that you are that way, that you are, Karen Everett's like that too. She's got that.
Oh, Karen,
you are from that whole audit, fact-driven world.
She trained me.
But listen to me. That can be a part of that story, because you can take those facts now, because that's all your data points that you have.
That is true.
But now you don't have to tell the story straight through with facts.
Right.
This is the bucket of which you can pull from. And now you just flex it a little bit as you tell your story.
Right. I mean, it's good to have facts. You need to
100%.
know. You need just remember that story writing is about the who, what, where, why, and how. So you do need to have some facts.
Yes.
You know, this is why when I gave you all the scenario of the story that I wanted you to write, I had to give you all something.
Yes.
You did, yes.
You
know.
And I am so grateful for that because I have to keep going. Look, wait, where's she going again? Wait.
So just for my audience, because now that AJ also took this challenge as well. So I had a challenge for all my new writers, for all my writers. It started with Renee because Renee keeps saying that I can't write like that, and I'm like, stop it, okay, stop it, because we're gonna change the way you think.
That is true. Yes.
So I put
And
out
I needed
this
this challenge.
right, and I wanted her to have an opportunity to try something new. Yes. And so once, let me tell you the scenario. The scenario was.
It still is. The scenario still is.
Still
right?
is.
Because we have,
It was,
yes.
yeah.
Still is.
Yep.
The scenario is a woman is seeing a therapist because she has fears.
Fierce. Right.
And the therapist tells her to go on a trip by herself to a Caribbean island where she meets a man and starts an affair. That's it.
That's it.
Anything that you want to put with that, how you want to work it, that's up to you.
Right.
That was the scenario. So after Al finished writing the book, and I'm so proud of him, he goes, "I'm an author now. I want to." He's like, "I'm an author now, so I want to be in on that there that story writing that you're doing."
I said, "What he what?"
And
Well, she told me,
and I gave
and
him.
she said it was due.
Yes.
And I was a day behind the due date.
Yeah.
I told her, look, I was doing some things, but when she told me how long y'all had, I didn't
Oh
feel
my
bad
God,
at all.
exactly.
Because I wrote mine in like a couple days.
Yes,
But
he
see,
wrote it in a couple of days.
He was still off the get high.
I still
right?
was.
He was
Yes,
still.
I was.
His mojo was still
But
ready.
let's be clear. So to get to my book,
Yes.
I have been writing it for all those years. So let me tell you what really happened for me to cross the finish line. So, in 2023,
Yeah.
I retired.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
The following week, I walked across the stage and I got my Bachelor of Liberal Arts degree.
Yes, he did.
So now I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm releasing music. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
And 2024, I said to myself, I'm taking 2024 off. I ain't doing nothing. I done worked
Okay.
for 42 years.
Okay.
This is my year. What do we say about that self-discovery? This is that time to discover myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
And right around spring going into summer, the lightning bolt hit me because I opened the book up. I had been tinkering with it,
Okay.
on and off here and there.
'Cause that
But
was my question.
Right at that it was that crossroads of
Yeah.
spring going into summer. I couldn't get the ending.
So that's
I told
around
you-
June-ish.
Yes.
Okay, June, July. Okay,
I'm trying to get to this end because I'm like,
Wow.
I got to end this thing.
Yeah.
I said, I got to finish this thing. I
Yeah.
said, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I reread it. I'm like, you got a great story here. You just got to end it.
Right.
And the lightning bolt hit me, and literally it took me 2 days to write the last 2-3 chapters. I wrote these chapters because now I could succinct it up. I put it down and I walked away from it. I walked away from it for 2 days
Okay.
because I said to myself, I said, this is it. I got it. But I
Okay.
walked away because I wanted to make sure that it felt right.
Right.
So I went back and I read like the last few chapters to see did it flow.
Okay.
And when I felt it flow, then I went back and I reread the whole thing. And I came up and I told
Yeah.
her, I said, I think I finished my book.
See, isn't that a great feeling? But I just want to put something in context for the viewers. So he said he was almost done. This is the book. You see how thick this book is, right? And within a couple of days, he finished the last couple of chapters. He had all this meat. You see all of this? This is the meat. He just had to put the little potatoes on the table right here.
But when it's coming,
Yeah.
it's
But
like
that-
manna from
But
heaven.
that's how it
You just
happens.
gotta-
Yes.
But Renee,
yes. That's how it happens.
And that's
though.
normal because,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm like 313 pages into Deception, but it's not finished.
Right.
I told Al I need about 3 more chapters to wrap
Yeah.
things
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
And even though it seems like, well, go ahead and write them 3 chapters, but I don't ever want to rush my
No,
creativity.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And you don't want it because it'll
I don't
chop the
it,
flow. It
right.
won't flow.
Absolutely.
You need to keep reading it.
Yeah.
You need to go. So
Yes.
now
Find it.
right.
Yes.
So now before I can write some more, I'm gonna have to read at least the last 6 chapters so I can flow into the next one.
Yeah.
So you just can't keep chopping it up.
Otherwise, it's like 2 different authors writing the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You have to know when it's done.
Yes.
You have to know.
Right. You have
Yes.
to say, okay, I think.
This is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Right. Not even I think
Because you
to
can go
think-
on and on and on and on.
Yeah, and that
you
was what
do,
she told me.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, you do, and you're like, oh, this is enough,
But this is the benefit,
got
Renee,
out.
of being able to see the end portion.
Yes.
To know.
That's-
You need to
that's the
know
difference.
because when you know where you want the story to go,
That's true.
You can take it to that place.
Yes.
Right.
This can't be an endless story. Oh, you
That's
know,
what she said. She said,
this can't be no endless
You
story.
got to end this thing.
Because frankly,
wrap it up.
because then if you're gonna do that, and I told him that if you're gonna do that, then make it
Like a trilogy.
trilogy. And because that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
Because my story is told in 3 parts, and I'm working on the last part now.
Right.
But every single book was its own entity.
Right.
You can read it as standalone books, but
Yes.
they're connected.
See,
Because
yeah.
that's how soap operas are.
Yep.
That is
soap
true.
operas go on and on and on, and it never ends. But you get to an end of that story when they
Absolutely.
choose something. Okay, what's happening now? We're going to get to the end of that, and then we're going to start another story over because that's how we go. These are the lives of these people.
Yeah.
So he can keep this Ace and Mika story going for as long as he wants to.
That's
But
true.
he couldn't just keep that one
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
going all the way. He needed to have a stop
Stop
point.
point, yeah.
So
I
he did
Got a
that.
nice
got a
little
question.
cliffhanger in there.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So I got a question. So, how did you create the cover? How did you come up with who was going to produce it for you? Let's talk about that a little bit. Did you self-publish? Did you go to somebody or?
So I have this good friend of mine that has written several things. And I said, so this is what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
How do I do it? She said,
Can you guys
Google
catch?
it.
Can you guys catch hints? I don't know.
Figure it out.
Listen.
I had to figure it out. Figure it out.
Just so you all know, he'll do that to her too. So
But you know what? Here's the thing.
She did.
I gave him.
She gave me the.
yes,
She
starting
opened the
point?
door for me.
Okay, she gave the starting point.
She didn't
yeah.
just slam the door in my face.
Right,
She opened the
right.
door. She said,
Okay.
"You want to start here?
Yes.
You want to start here and then do this."
Okay.
And I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I went down the path, and when I got stuck, I would come
Yes.
over and say,
He would
"Okay,
come over.
this is where I'm at."
Yes.
And so what I like about this is, that classic line: "If you give a man a fish, you got to feed him for the rest of his life." So what she did
I
is
know do that.
she know I don't like fish, so she gave me a little breadcrumb here.
I don't do that.
She gave me a little piece of chicken over here. She put a little lemonade out over here. But she wouldn't give me the whole meal.
Correct.
So she wanted me to walk my way through the process.
Go fishing.
And I want to tell you, it was one of the best things she did. So I had
Yes.
already made the decision I was going to self-publish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what avenue to go through.
Okay.
And I went through, the biggest, you got the biggest distribution company on the planet. It's Amazon.
AZ.
So I said the first way out the gate, I'm going to go through Amazon because they're going to do all that legwork for
yes.
me.
Yeah.
And now knowing what I know, if I'm going to do future books to go further, I'm going to do it all myself and do it in-house because it's just like being signed to a record label.
Wow. Okay.
So let's just say if your record you sell for $10,
Yeah.
okay, the artist, the person who created it, you lucky if you get $1 or $2 off of that.
Yes.
The record label gets $8, $9
Everybody
off
gotta
of it.
eat. Everybody gotta eat.
So
yes.
when you learn the process,
Right.
now you can do it in-house. You still can use them as distribution, but you become your own Amazon and you do it yourself.
All right.
So that's what I learned in the process.
Yes, and that's actually what I did.
Yeah. Yes,
Which
you
is
did,
why
yes.
I got all my books here.
Yes. Yeah. Because see, now I knew that he had written his book, and I knew I was supposed to click on the link to buy the book. Okay, life happened. I got to the steps. I promise you, you probably could see me on your. I got to the steps, and I said, "Ooh, I ain't buy that book. He better have a book in the house for me when I get there."
Yeah.
So, whenever you guys are you're an author and you're promoting yourself, always have books on hand,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yes.
you never know who
Yeah.
you're going to meet, who you're going to see.
That's
Keep a
very
couple in the
important.
car.
That's very
That's right.
important.
Got some at the house.
Yes.
And everywhere I
Keep a
go, I
couple.
talk it up.
Yes.
But I will tell you, I also have another wonderful selling card that most other folks don't have.
What's that?
So when you go see a movie, there's a soundtrack that goes along with the movie. I release a soundtrack to the book
See.
because I'm a musician.
Yeah.
That's in here somewhere. Music. Yep, music. First love.
So if anybody, if I walk up to somebody, I don't have a book,
You go get that.
I will go to people and I will say, you got Spotify? Let me see your phone. And I can take their phone and I can go, I'll find myself, I'll go to the book.
Yes.
And I'll hit it and it'll start playing the soundtrack from the book.
So now you know I gotta go to Spotify. Not tonight because it's past my bedtime. So tomorrow I gotta go to Spotify. So
no,
AJ, how do we buy the book?
As you said, you can go to Amazon and you can look at the title of the book, which is just Ace and Mika, or you could go to my name. It's A.L. Jones Sr., and you could find the book that way.
Okay.
And if you follow me on social media, you can
Yes.
see me on Facebook, you can see me on Instagram, on
Yes.
Twitter. Most of the time it is my name or the Brother AJ. All my music stuff is under the Brother AJ.
Okay.
So that's the way you would be able to find me.
And you said also on Spotify so they can find it the same way?
Spotify, you can just type in Ace and Mika, or you type in the Brother AJ, it'll bring you right to the project.
And one last thing. So if you had to give some advice to a new author, what would you tell them?
Oh, I would say a couple simple things. Number one, you know your voice. You know who you are.
Good one.
Above all else, stay true to your voice because that's what people are looking for. They're looking for your story.
Yeah.
So that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, don't wait. Don't wait.
Say that again.
Say it.
We think that we're going to be here forever.
Yeah.
And we think that we think it needs to be perfect. And what you find out in life is that we are imperfect creatures.
Yeah.
And so it's in our imperfection that makes us great.
That's right.
So why are you trying to make this perfect work?
That's right.
Because what will happen is if you start this work in 2000, it'll take you 25 years to release it because you can't make it perfect.
Yes.
So use your own voice.
Yep.
Stop trying to be perfect because you can get it out.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is be proud of your work.
Yes.
A lot of people let other people tell them that your work has no value, that you're less than. And if you go to them same little pages in front, I give you a little thing about my haters in there because I want you to understand I love them people. You need them in your life.
You do need them.
Yes, because they will fuel your passion.
Yes.
And I say that, I don't say that to be mean or evil.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, especially in this world of social media, somebody said it very well. I should have clipped whoever said it. But I really love this comment about social media.
Yeah.
And they say, do you know what your social media is? It's a highlight reel. They don't see you sitting on the toilet. They don't see you in your bed with the
Right.
covers up,
Yes.
with your face all snottied up and
Yeah.
all that. They see you glammed out, decked
Yeah.
out on a cruise ship,
Yeah.
standing on top of the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
It's your highlight reel.
Right. Right.
So treat your life like it's a highlight reel when you're supporting your work.
I love it.
Okay?
I love it. We thank you. Y'all, you don't know. AJ will talk. If we sat here, we would be here till tomorrow. So we appreciate AJ because we love him so much. Y'all, that's Karoline's husband, but I love him too. I love him too.
Everybody loves AJ.
Everybody loves AJ.
I want to thank you ladies for having me. You know, I love your platform, and I wish more people could find you and funnel in because there's so many authors out there. This is a great place and a great space for them to get
And
their
that's what it's
voice and
for.
their message out.
That's what it's
And
for.
speaking of finding us,
Yes.
we are in several places. We're hosted by Podbean, but we are carried through most of the networks. So you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Pandora. You can find us on iHeartRadio. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on a lot of the networks.
Just find us.
And just find us. us. Yeah, basically just find us. And the thing about it, what I love about people who listen to podcasts will find you.
Yeah.
Because you're in all the spaces and places where you need to be.
Yeah.
And anybody is supposed to say, oh, I don't have Podbean. You don't have to listen on Podbean.
That's right. That's
Go
right.
listen on YouTube.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel. Go listen on Pandora. Go listen on iHeart. Go
And tell
listen
a
on
friend.
Spotify. Tell a friend. Yeah.
Don't keep it to yourself. Don't
Exactly.
gatekeep. Don't gatekeep.
So we're out
We're
there
here for you.
We're out there, and I have several platforms. Our Author Speak is just one of them. Yeah. We will be coming back soon. I don't know when. I need to ask him. But Living Your Best Life with Karoline and AJ. We still doing that podcast.
Yes,
I'm doing an All Things Spiritual podcast, and I have the one that started it all, a candid conversation with Dr. Karoline Bethea-Jones. So I'm inviting you all to come have a conversation with me because I like talking to people. Yes. It may seem like I don't, but I really do.
She really does.
I really do.
Show you right.
So we want to thank you for joining us this evening. You've been listening to Author Speak from the Real Talk, Real People podcast. And our guest tonight was Alban A.J. Jones, brand new author of Ace and Mika.
Thank you.
And that's a very, very good novel. And I'm not just saying this because he's my husband. I'm saying this
And
because
she wouldn't say it. You see the hoop she make me jump through?
let me tell you something. Everybody know that I am real. They don't come
real talk.
They don't come
She
no
real.
realer than me.
That's right.
This is why my network is called Real Talk.
That's right.
With real people, a candid conversation, because I don't play that mess. We not doing that.
No.
Like, I'm an author. You better step your game up.
Listen,
Bring it.
bring it. But anyway, thank you for joining us this evening, and we will be back next month with another author.
Love it.
And we just gonna keep having fun because you know what, life is too short for us to be
100%.
sitting up here with you know we go to work every day, we do the thing. Well, he don't go to work every day, but we do all the things that we have to do. I'm gonna do some of the things that I love
Because
to
we
do.
love it.
Because we love it.
Yeah.
That's it. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.